Hello and welcome to the Java tutorial. In the last tutorial I showed you how to use variables and how to work with it. Today it's all about so-called scope. So where you can work with the variables that you declared. Because you will see it depends. Okay, so in the first step we close our old class and go to the default package and make a new class that we call Scope, or here in German Bereiche. Okay, finish. Okay, you see we have now a new class, like we've did it in the last time. At first we make the main method, like always. Okay, and now let's start. So, you know anything about variables and methods, and you will see the place where you declare your variable is important. It defines where you can use it. I can show you this in an example. So let's make a new method, static void, and do something. I just call it like this. And in this method, you will see that there are local variables. And you will see that these local variables you can only change or work with it in this method. So just on this place. I will define now in a main method the variable int x equals 7, and you will see you don't have any possibility to use it in another method. Let's try this. For example, in the do something method, in the other method, I will say x equals 10. And you see here, Eclipse says no, that's not possible. X cannot be resolved to a variable. So there the problems begin. You cannot use it here because it's a local variable in the main method. The scope is not defined for the other method. So what can you do? For example, you don't have to declare a variable in the method. You can also do it outside of a method. So I go here on top of the main method, and I say int x, or static int x. I declare it here, and you see here the problem disappears. And here we don't need an int because it's already declared, so it's enough if I write x equals 7. And if I run this program now, and you will see in the main method x will get the value 7, and in our other method, in the do something method, it will get x will get the value 10. So I can show you this. Just make an output for the shell, for the console. And so we see it will be 7, and for the next step, for the next method, it will turn to 10. So you can see it here now. I will run the program. And now look in the shell, you see we have 7 as an output, and then after the do something method, we get the value 10. It jumps to this method and x is set to 10, changed to 10, and then you have the output 10. So all in all, we can say x is defined here in before our main or before our do something method. So it's defined and declared in this class. So we say here it's a so-called class variable. The other variables were local variables when you define them or declare them in the methods. I can show you here if I do now, if I create now another method, and let's call it do something local here. And if I declare here another variable, define here another variable, int y equals 100, you will see it's a local variable, and you can only work with it or change it, whatever, in this method. And this variable only exists as long as you work with this method. So if you don't work with it, it will be recalled. So in this tutorial, you have seen everything about the scope of variables, and that you get a feeling how you can use a variable and if you can use a variable and where you have to declare it. Okay, that's everything for today. So thank you and see you next time.